Hello, welcome back to another episode of Behind the Filter After Dark Edition. And I have my bestie here.
Hey!
And I do have to say, Miss Ashley looks a lot, for those of you who are listening, she looks a lot different than what we have seen for the past 2 episodes.
Yes. Somebody literally texted me and they were like, if I wouldn't have known what you got done, I would have thought you had 2 black eyes on the last episode. Essentially, I did.
Yes.
To catch people up, or for those that didn't see, I've been working with Taylor at 317's Aesthetic Lounge by Christopher Jones.
Taylor. Yes. She's amazing.
Jeanette connected me with them, and we are working on just like refreshing my natural look. So we did a little zoom in, got my forehead, look at it.
Oh,
frozen.
Wow. Yes, that's the best.
It's the best. And then we worked on dissolving my lip filler that had migrated. Now I got some fresh lips, girl.
They look so good.
I feel like for the people watching, like you'll notice on my side profile today that I'm not like this anymore. My duck lips are going down. She did half a syringe.
Okay.
Dissolver a month ago. And then I didn't know you could do this, but she did a touch more of dissolver while she also did my lips because she's only dissolving what's up here.
Yeah.
And then she also did that the same time she did my half a syringe on my lips.
Wait, so you can do both at the same time?
As long as it's in different areas.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know that. So then I'm going to go back in 2 weeks and see if I want to do the rest of the syringe. But for like everyone who's like toying around with lip filler, I feel like everyone thinks like Kylie Jenner, circa like 2018. You can have a very natural look. We're trying to balance my lips out and stuff. Yeah, and then they're testing out a new laser treatment, which is why I looked a mess the last 2 episodes. But I'm going to brag on myself. I don't do this a lot.
Okay.
Like, my skin is glowing.
Yes,
like,
it is glowing.
Like
she walked in here, and I was like, oh, my God, you look gorgeous.
Thank you. It's been a long time since I felt like a human because of the healing. I will say I'm going through the purging. My skin does a lot of purging post. So I have like some breakouts happening, but all worth it.
So I was supposed to do a laser treatment full face. I did 1 pass under my eyes, and she did it very lightly. And so like mine wasn't nowhere near compared to what you did. And so now I'm going to be on TV for the next month. So I cannot do the laser. There's no way. Maybe. But then now we are going to go into the warmer months, which the whole point of doing a laser is doing it when there's not a lot of sun. Yeah. Which here in Indiana, this is like the perfect time. Yeah. So I think I may have to wait. Maybe I'll just go back and do like a microdermabrasion or skin pen.
That'd be I love the skin pen. I love the skin pen.
To piggyback on what you said in terms of like getting lips done, doing fillers and all that stuff, it is all number one about like your injector and picking the right person to help you figure out what's going on with your face. Yep. For Ashley and I, we're a little bit older and some of our facial structures are beginning to change. And that's just what happens with aging. And so you will start to notice, I'm 42, I have started to notice where one side of my face looks more flat than the other. Yep. And in that's just what happens when aging takes place. Yeah. So for the most part, it's like we're trying to fix the symmetry. And we're trying to get that more awake feeling versus like being overfilled and basically looking like you have had stuff done, which, that's
we're
not
going that
the goal.
Natural, minimalistic approach. Just enough. I love that. I love that you pointed that out. I also get so frustrated with the internet when it's like you have the Botox people versus the aging naturally people. Yeah. And I just want to say this disclaimer. If you want to get Botox, get it. Yes. If you don't want to get Botox, don't get it. Right. If you want to get filler, get it. If you don't want to get filler, don't get it. It is all about whatever makes you feel better about yourself. So tune out the noise and do what you want to do.
Yep, exactly. I'm sorry. I want to age as gracefully as possible, meaning I want all the help I can get.
Yes.
Okay?
I know. And I have but they said you need to sleep on your back. Well, I get sleep paralysis. I can't sleep on my back. Yeah. So I have that smushy face.
Me too.
Yes. I hate the smushy face.
The smushy face is not fun.
This is my smushy face side.
Okay, before we go into all of our stories this week, we had some follow-ups to do. I have my first follow-up.
Girl.
Okay.
All right.
So our last podcast episode, we were talking about this girl who got fired from twerking on the plane. Okay. So I did some more digging. Yes. So it is, the airline was Alaska Airlines, and she found it to be unfair and discriminatory because she said she did a dance that was more urban. But they actually, from what I saw, Alaska Airlines actually does have a social media policy handbook in terms of what they expect from their employees and all that stuff. So she obviously broke something that is specifically in the employee handbook. And so, for those of you who don't know the story, she had basically was doing all her training for to become a flight attendant. She finally got it. So she did kind of like a little booty popping dance, and nobody was on the plane. It wasn't during air flight or anything like that. It was like in between or something. The skirt that she was wearing was a little short. I would have been like, that would have given me a little bit of pause.
Was it her uniform?
Yes.
Okay.
It was in her uniform as well. And so, basically the airline said she broke social media policy. She then went on, and because the video went viral, she then did a second video kind of like bad-mouthing the airline for what they did. That video is now private. It's no longer public. That second video went viral. Then she created a GoFundMe because she lost her job. Yeah. It made about $3,300, and then it closed. So the airlines is sticking to their guns, saying like, look, this is what the policy was. Yeah. You clearly broke it. And she was also in a what's the word? Kind of like, now I'm missing the name of it. Like a probationary period, because like she just finished training. She wasn't fully onboarded yet, but they say they still take, even if you're on this probation time period, to the complete onboarding of being out there. They take everything seriously. And if you break something, and you got to go because it's breaking a rule for them. So that is the update I had on the twerking.
Can I say a random tangent that ties into, have you heard about the office siren trend and the girl who got fired because of it?
Okay, so I saw something about that, but I don't think I clearly was like paying attention. So what is it?
So if I don't want to fumble the words, but office siren is basically like
aren't you like this hot bitch walking in and dressing more sexy in the office?
But why? I don't know. I don't know. I think it started from a good place of like women unfairly have like, or if it, depending on your views, a more strict dress code when it comes to the office. We're often more sexualized. So they were trying to take ownership of that. And instead, I think it became overly sexualized. You can take ownership of your sexuality and your without wearing a cleavage-bearing shirt.
Absolutely, 100%.
And unfortunately, when you walk into that office, you are now representing that company. Yes. And I don't want to like stand by either side, but I understand the point of like you're representing their brand. If I would have walked into a client meeting and my, shirt was down to here or my skirt was up, it would have been questionable.
I mean, the same thing. If I'm on TV, I am not going to wear a low-cut shirt.
Right.
It's just taking away from what you're trying to do. I don't think it has anything to do with, you're trying to silence my self-expression or anything like that. It's you're making it about you and not about like your work. Yeah. And I think there's something to be said about it. So then what specifically was going around with that?
So I guess one of the girls was following the office siren trend. Mm-hmm. She goes into work and gets fired because she was inappropriately dressed. And I think most people are taking the company's side because the problem is, and this is, not to get too opinionated, but a bunch of influencers are sharing corporate America dress ideas plus office siren ideas. And quite frankly, maybe I've never stepped in corporate America. Yeah. And you have to understand it is a different beast.
It is.
Fair or unfair. It's why I left it because of, certain things. Mm-hmm. But if you haven't been in that situation, you have to be really careful offering ideas up to people who are in that situation. So I tried to go find the girl's actual outfit and I couldn't find it, which was the weird thing. But I saw a lot of like, what did you expect when you wore a mini leather skirt or blah, 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 blah. And
and you and I, we both have lots of fun with fashion, especially when we go out, we wear the crop tops, we do all the things and we have fun. But like, I think there's a time and place for it. And, I feel though, it's very hard for a woman, and it is what it is. You're in the office. It's going to be hard for us to be taken serious when we're having like half our shit hanging out. It just doesn't, it's not appropriate at all. I just don't understand where the disconnect is. And I think you're right. I think it's influencers giving people ideas when I'm like, have you even stepped foot in an office setting? Do you know the difference between what you're supposed to wear in an office atmosphere versus you working from home in your pajamas?
Right.
I love my pajamas. I love when I get to work from home in my pajamas and wear whatever I want. But I will not be wearing that in the office.
Exactly. And I guess for me, I would want to overcome the like sexual stigma that women have in an office by my intelligence and by my words, not by dressing into it. So I feel like that's how I would try to overcome it.
Right.
Teach their own.
Now I'm going to have to look up these office siren outfits.
Yeah.
Stupid. Okay, I need an update on the cat.
I can't find anything.
Oh my God,
I
Ashley.
have searched Mr. Whiskers. I have searched Sir Pounce-a-Lot, Mr. Whiskers' arch nemesis.
Inquiring minds need to know what's happening with the cat.
Somebody commented that they saw an updated post, and I was like, what? But we need to know where. I can't find it. Here's what makes me concerned.
Oh my gosh.
Is that I think the time when I went and searched it, I think I found a second poster posting it, and that always makes me fearful of, was someone just sharing the story? Or is this like a folklore story somebody wrote?
So you think it's not real?
I don't know. I want it to be real so bad.
So do I.
I want to follow Mr. Whiskers. I want to watch him fight Mr. Pounce-a-Lot.
Okay, so if you guys have not listened to our the few episodes ago, Ashley came across a Reddit story about this guy who ran a cat roll account and the wife had just found out, and I died because, I mean, it is hilarious. And so we were like, we need updates. We need to find his rival. We need to find, Mr. Whiskers.
Mr. Whiskers is him. Mm-hmm.
And Sir Pounce-a-Lot
is his arch nemesis.
Yes. We need to find all these people. So we've been on the hunt and we have come up zero.
And to be clear,
and you're a great investigator.
I know. I'm not going to give up. But also to be clear, he doesn't dress up as a cat. He just talks as a cat in first person.
Right.
So he said once, like, mad at human, knocking water bottle off table.
And I just thought it was hilarious because I have 5 cats. So,
and as much as I'm, not exactly a cat person, I am allergic. I find them very entertaining, the sassy things that they do. Yeah. So I feel like I would love to follow this account.
I know. I want to be entertained. That would be fun.
We'll find them. Okay. We are not going to give
up. We will continue the conversation. Yes. Was there something else? We said we were going to forget.
I was going to...
Oh, the face. Your face.
My face, yes.
We talked about your face. We talked about the twerking air flight attendant and about Mr. Whiskers.
I think we did it.
Okay.
We
actually remembered. Okay. You want to go to our DMs of the week?
Let's do it.
Okay. Do you want me to share mine first?
Go for it.
Okay. So I think this person still follows me. I'm not quite sure. So this guy randomly DM'd me, probably about 2 weeks ago. And I was just like, you've got to be kidding me. Okay. And then all he says is just hi. All he says, hi. I'm at the news station, and I respond back. I'm like, hi. And then he asks me, are you located in Indy? And then I was like, who is this guy? So I scroll up, and we've had a conversation before. I scrolled up. It went to the beginning of 2023 when I was on TV again.
Stop.
So his first DM said, you're so famous, I can't even take you to dinner. And I said, LOL, are you in Indy? And then he said, no, I'm in another state. And I was like, okay. I was like, LOL, never mind. Yeah. And I was just joking. And he said, I thought you were in my building for some reason, is what he said.
Okay.
And I was like, nope. That's all it said. Didn't hear from the guy again. Nothing. Fast forward to March 11th of 2025 when he's like, hi. I'm like, hi. He asks me again, are you located in Indy? So then I respond back and I said, I'm sorry. Haven't we had this discussion before? And then he says, come to my house in New York or we can FaceTime. At this point, I'm like, who the F are you to be saying this to me? And I said, no, thank you. I'm in a relationship. So then he goes, okay, sorry. I look at his profile pic. His picture is him with a girl who's pregnant in front of a cake that says baby on it. I'm
Stop.
like, what are you doing? Are you joking me? You're DMing me. I don't remember. I mean, we barely DM'd the first time. I don't remember what his picture looked like before, if it was something different. But you're literally saying this. So who's the girl next to you? You have your hand around her. She's very, very pregnant. It looks like it's probably her baby shower. The cake topper said, "Oh, baby."
Come on, no, that's his baby. At the very minimum, relationship to his baby mama.
Yeah.
Even my brothers, if they took a picture of me at my baby shower, would never post that as their profile picture.
Thank you. Yeah.
As soon as you said, "Oh, I thought you were in my building. I thought he has a girlfriend," that was his CYA to gaslight her if she found the DM.
Yeah.
Like, "Oh, I was just being silly. I saw her on TV." And then then he could say "Oh, I thought she was our neighbor."
Yeah.
No.
So that was my DM of the week. I was like, unbelievable. So I left it. I was like, okay. And he still follows me, I think. Maybe maybe by this time he'll unfollow me, but I'm like,
good.
You're gross.
Is his profile private?
Yes, I can't see it.
Of course.
Of course it is, right?
It is. That I will stand on that. Like, if you are going to DM someone in the intention of wanting to get to know him, obviously this guy is maybe not the best caliber, but meaning he has a girlfriend or a significant other, you gotta unprivate your profile.
Thank you.
And someone once commented, like, well, why can't you just follow them and unfollow? That I did that once, and it was super awkward. Like, oh, sorry, we don't like what we see. I'm gonna unfollow you now. That feels so mean. Or like we're DMing, and then all of a sudden, you accept me, and I'm like, oh, wait, hang on, you do have a wife, you do have a kid.
Yeah.
Like, not that a kid would matter, but like, I don't know. I meant more of like a wife and a family.
Well,
so
yeah.
That's gross.
It shouldn't be in my DMs. I just think it was hilarious. Like, I'm like, you're asking the same thing you asked me 2 years ago. And scroll up, bro.
Do we really think he's in New York? Because if he's seeing you on TV.
Thank you. The only thing I can think of is that, like, I don't know if he saw something streaming. I don't know if he saw a video. I don't know. I have no idea.
It's just odd he messaged you both times you went back on the news.
That's what I said. Literally. It's freaking weird.
Men, people need to stop being gross about stuff like that. If you're in a relationship, you stay in the relationship or you end it if you're unhappy.
Exactly.
Let's not do this.
Like, be done with it. Yeah. So, yeah. We'll see. We'll see if there's anything else. Maybe I'll get another message here in another year and a half.
No, you probably will. Well, you're back on. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Every time you get a stint on TV, let's follow up in a year and a half when you have to go back and fill in, or next time you have to fill in on TV.
I'd be like,
we're going to check the DM.
Oh, man. This is idiot. So there you go. That's mine.
I can't.
Okay, what's yours?
All right. This one I've shared before because he made a joke about let me Venmo you to take you out to dinner when I talked about like a guy who had been messaging me to let me pay him.
Are we this guy?
Not that one.
Oh, okay.
A different one.
I was gonna
we're
say,
talking about
I think he sent us several DMs and I have not. I've just kind of ignored them and I haven't opened them. So sorry.
He still emails me. Listen, if you want to Venmo me. But I'm not going to see you in person. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's just a little weird.
So this guy had said, after he had originally said, let me Venmo you to take me to dinner, he goes, you don't like Venmo? I'll Cash App you to take you on a date.
Like you have something against Venmo?
Yeah, like it's Venmo's the problem. And then I didn't respond. And he said, you look prettier without a drop of makeup. And I said, that's sweet. Thank you. The other night I talked about how I accidentally, unintendedly approached a 25-year-old at the bar.
Oh, yeah.
And then he goes, you're not going. Have dinner with me instead. I'm age appropriate. Here's what I don't like. I don't like... First of all, don't tell me what to do. First of all, don't tell me what to do.
I was going to say.
I think that's it.
Don't tell me what to do. Already is he said you're not going to do something that you're... Yeah, he's like trying to tell you what to do already.
If I want to go out with a 25-year-old, I'm going to go out with a 25-year-old.
Yeah.
A stranger on the internet that has a private profile. And this is, I mean, can you even tell? If I ran into me on the street, I wouldn't know who he is.
Oh, he follows me too.
We've talked about him.
Yes.
Because he knows us from one of your places of employment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he does.
Yeah. And I'm just like, first of all, stop with the Venmo stuff, okay? It was a joke I cracked one time.
Right.
Please stop.
Yeah.
I will tell you this right now. there's no amount of money you can Venmo me to get me to go on a date with you. And I'm looking at the camera in case anyone needs to just get the eye contact. Okay, that's uncomfortable for me. Okay? Happy for anyone who does it. Love that for you. If you want to Venmo me and we'll have a 30-minute conversation, that's it. You can Venmo me for a text conversation. I don't like the aggressiveness. I feel sometimes I've had, like, when guys are like, I get there's a fine line between, like, wanting to be, like, taking charge as the man, because I've talked a lot about wanting a masculine man.
Yeah.
But then there's that bossiness where it just kind of feels a little demeaning. That I don't like.
Absolutely it does.
So that was it. That was my DM of the week.
These men, I swear.
No, I mean, he looks like he could be cute in his profile picture, but we'll never know.
Yeah, I feel like it looks like the same way. Like, I think he could be cute too, but like your hat's covering your entire face.
Yeah. And before that, it was his baby picture.
That's right, it was. Yeah. So we just never know.
No, and there's not even any conversation. It's just like, Venmo, here's money, let's go out. How about money? Let's go out.
So this is the thing that's so interesting to me. Like, it's like guys think that it's like very little. You don't have to say anything. Very little effort in terms of a conversation that's going to make you be like, yes, please take me on a date.
Yes.
That's not how it works.
No, I want to know we have some sort of similarities.
Right. You don't want to waste your time.
No, time is too valuable to be like, oh, you're a cute face. Let's go out for 3 hours. And it's awful because we have nothing in common. Like, it wouldn't kill you to have a little conversation first, guys.
Yes, exactly.
I've been noticing that more and more with guys just being like, let's cut straight to it and just go out on Friday. And I get the point because I think on, like, a dating app, there's a lot of, like, back and forth. And it ends up being, like, 2 months and you're not. I get there has to be, like, a hard cut. But I need a little conversation.
Well, yeah. I think so, too. Like, I'm not the type of person to... we exchange 2 words and I'm like, okay, let's go.
Exactly.
Like, there has to be some commonality because your girl's busy. Like, we don't have time for this.
No.
So, speaking of the dating apps, how have the dating apps been, Ashley? We need an update. How's it going?
Horrible.
Horrible. Oh, no.
Honestly, I haven't even really been on them. There was, like...
Ryan was just in here earlier. He said they're also horrible.
Okay, here, there was one guy I was talking to, and it was like he was from London, but he works here and lives here, and he was back home. He was working some stuff out of his visa, then he was getting ready to come back.
Okay.
We talked a little bit while he was back home, and then when the time he was supposed to come back, just dead silence. And again, he's like, what's your Instagram? Then he goes and finds my Instagram, and then it ends. And I'm just like, why are we doing this? Why are we doing this?
Yeah.
So outside of that, I just really haven't been paying attention to him. But I did approach 2 guys in a bar the other night.
Okay. I am so proud of you.
Thank you. It was a big deal. The first guy...
Wait, first of all, how did you have a couple drinks to like open you up to it? Did your friends pressure you? Like, what's the background of this?
A little bit of both.
Okay.
It was just a happy hour, so we were having some appetizers. I think I had like 2 glasses of wine at this point, just enough to like let me relax.
Yeah.
And there was this really cute guy there. And he looked to be about my age, but again, I'm so bad with that stuff.
Yeah.
And I swear, so we were sitting at the bar, he was at a table in the bar area. When he walked back from the bathroom, we like made eye contact directly at each other. I feel like if you're looking at someone to the point of like you can make eye contact with them, like that feels as though you're looking with intent.
Yes.
So I was kind of like, oh, okay.
Okay, hi.
So I ended up, right before we left, writing my phone number on a piece of paper that the bartender gave me, and it just said like he had a beard, so I was like, to the bearded man. And then I put, are you single? Because I always want to be very clear about that.
Right.
And then I put a box with no and a check mark, but then instead of where the box would be for yes, I put my phone number. And then I put in parentheses, that means yes. So when I went to go give it to him, I feel bad because he had like just started a conversation. But at this point, like I'm beelining for him, so it'd be even more awkward if I changed.
Right.
So I was just like, here, this is to you from me. And I laughed, and he goes, okay. Never heard from him. Either he didn't like the approach, he didn't like me, he's in a relationship, whatever.
Maybe he's not single.
Okay. Yeah, maybe he's not single. So then we go to the next bar, and this guy walks in by himself, sits down at the end of the bar, and I was like, oh, he's cute. And when I told my friend, I was like, I don't know, he looks like he's probably still in his 20s, maybe like 28, I was thinking, 29. Yeah. And she's like, no, I think he's in his 30s. And I was like, I don't know. But I was like, okay, let me go talk to him. So I was like, why not? At this point, I'm on wine glass 3. So I go over to the end of the bar and we start talking, and he's adorable. He's from Chicago, but he works here, or he has clients here. So he's in and out during the month. And he was like, I leave tomorrow to go back to Chicago, but why don't we get breakfast? And I was like, that's so cute. And I was like, wait, before I answer, how old are you?
Oh,
25.
Yeah, figures.
That's a big one. And I kind of just wish I wouldn't have asked. And I just would have not gotten that in my head. And I just would have gone. But here's the interesting. So then I gave him, he's like, is that it for you? Like, is this a deal breaker for you? I'm like, is it not a deal breaker for you? Like, you're the young one here.
Exactly.
And he's like, no, I don't care. So I was like, here's my number. Do with it what you want. So he ends up texting me. And it was so sweet. He sent me an address. And he was like, Miss Ashley, I'll see you tomorrow at 9 for breakfast.
Aww.
And I just texted him back, and I was like, I'm so sorry. And this is true. I was like, I have a lot of deadlines in the morning. Like, this one isn't going to work for me. And I never heard from him again.
Really?
But and I felt really bad because he was so, so sweet. But here's the interesting thing. I previewed this on my Instagram stories. Every person, and I had more DM replies than I think I've ever had in my life. But maybe 1 or 2 said I should have gone on the date, and that was crazy.
I agree.
I know.
Yes, you should have.
And for anyone listening that doesn't know, I'm 38. He's 25. That's a 13-year age gap.
You need to text him again.
See when he's coming back.
Yes. Be like, hi, I'm so sorry. Hope all is well. Yeah. Let me know when you're back in town.
Okay.
You should.
All right.
We want to know. I think, I've always said this because before, and my boyfriend's younger than me, but like, I've always said, like, if the conversation's good and if you have a connection, you have no idea what he wants. Maybe he does want to get married and have kids as soon as possible. Right. You have no idea.
You're right.
There's plenty of people that are in age gap relationships that are really happy.
I know.
Versus people who marry or are in a relationship with people that are older than them or they're at their age and they're miserable.
Yeah. I know.
You just don't know.
You're right. I don't know. And that's why a lot of people had responded and said.
Exactly.
And they're like, at the very least, it's just a date. I'm like, I know.
And at that point, you go on the date and then maybe like, oh, we totally don't get along. He's not my type. Yeah. We have too many different things. Then obviously, on top of the fact that there's an age gap, you now have X, Y, and Z. But if it's just the age.
I know. I just wish I wouldn't have asked. Then I get in my head. Sometimes it's better for me, like, let's have some conversation and, like, get comfortable and get to know each other a little bit, but don't ask too many, like, qualifying questions. Then Ashley overthinks. But, here's what I will say, though, to, like, single women, because I feel like I hate approaching a guy, but I was very anxious to approach the first guy. And then I was like, you know what? Who cares? The next morning, even when I was rejected by the one guy, we're just going to say rejected because it doesn't matter why.
Right.
And then the next guy didn't work out. Who cares? I'll never see those guys again.
Exactly.
I built up the pressure way worse than it was. So ladies, approach a man. If you see a cute man, approach him. What is the worst that's going to happen?
Right.
What's the likelihood that I'm going to run into either of these guys again? And at the end of the day, like, I know. I hate that feeling in my head of like, what if that could have been the one?
Yeah,
well,
that's true.
Still kind of got that with the second guy. But at least I tried.
I'm going to, like, text you every day or two. Be like, did you text the 25-year-old yet? What did he say? Did you respond? When are you going to breakfast? When is he coming back?
I'll find out. I'll do some homework before our next recording.
Oh, we better. I want to hear about this 25-year-old. I want to hear the next time we record this podcast again. I want it to be like, okay, so I heard from X, Y, and Z, and we went to breakfast, and we did this, and this, and this, and this is what happened.
Perfect. I'm on it.
All right. It's your homework out of this one.
Okay. Gotta write that down.
All right. You want to talk about the audacity?
Mm-hmm.
I have one, but it's not mine.
Okay.
It's one I saw online, and I thought that it was it's kind of like literally the audacity of this guy.
Boy.
So this guy basically talks to this girl on a dating app. Things are going off great. He asks her on a date. She says yes. They exchange numbers. They start to communicate. And so he then tells her after they get off the app that he is actually deaf.
Okay.
And that he wanted to know if they could do dinner at his house because he doesn't feel just comfortable because he's deaf. So then she says...
His house?
Right. Then she says she's not comfortable going to his house because they haven't met. But then she's also like, well, don't worry about it. I know ASL because I have a family member who's deaf, so we're fine. Like, I can totally help with dinner. Well, it turns out he couldn't leave his house because he was on house arrest.
Oh! Is he even deaf?
No! He was using that as because he didn't want to tell her what was wrong.
Where did he think this was gonna go?
Exactly.
We've talked about this before. When you start any relationship
With some sort of lie. Exactly.
It's never gonna pan out.
Yeah, and she was like, "Are you joking me right now?" I would have never agreed. Had I known you were on house arrest, that would be a huge red flag and a no.
What was he on house arrest for?
It didn't say.
Spill the tea.
He could not do anything.
Also,
so
shame on
clearly
him.
she canceled the date and was like, this is a big no. Thanks, but no thanks. And yeah. Also, what if she did say yes? And then, like, she showed up doing
starts
all
sign
of this sign languaging. And then, like, he's standing there.
And he's like, huh? Oh my gosh.
He's making up some random stuff.
When you're on house arrest, you have to have an ankle monitor, right?
Yes, yeah.
I guess he could have worn pants.
Yeah, he probably could have covered it
the moment I would have
up.
realized he wasn't deaf, I would have just turned back around.
Me too, because again, you lied.
Yeah. And then I'm also thinking, are you a serial killer?
Thank you.
Are you trying to murder me?
You basically employed me to get to your place and lied to me in order to get here. So what are you trying to do? What are you planning? Insane, right?
The audacity.
The audacity.
The audacity. Okay, this is one I shared on Facebook Live the other day, but it's when we didn't put a full episode out. So if you weren't on Facebook Live, you haven't heard this yet. Mm-hmm. So this is a conversation I had with a man over Hinge. This guy and I had previously matched. Oh yes, this is good one. This guy and I had previously matched, but then the conversation just faded out. So out of nowhere, he texts me, "Happy anniversary." I said, "Oh, is it our anniversary?" "Yeah, it's our 202-day anniversary. I can't believe you forgot." I didn't forget. I was just being coy about it. What a monumental anniversary for us. What did you get me? I hope everyone's keeping up with the back and forth here. He said, "I got you a night out with me and maybe a happy ending."
Okay, so we're going to pause there for a second. So you haven't heard from this person, right?
We exchanged maybe 5 messages before this.
Okay.
And it had been months, I think, in between.
And so what, did he probably go into his conversations and then saw that the last time you guys exchanged was the anniversary of...
I guess. And then I guess he was like, let's have an entertaining conversation from this, because there was no hint at anything sexual in the first couple messages. This just came out of left field.
So he just thought it was okay to imply he'll give you a happy ending for your anniversary.
And a happy ending.
Yeah, that's great. Okay.
So I said, by a happy ending, do you mean an espresso martini nightcap? He said, even better than that. Online shopping spree with your credit card? I'll give you credit. You're shooting for it. And I said, I just can't think of another way I'd want to end a first date. He replies, you, me, and doing your best to transfer that lipstick to me.
Like,
first of all, I wear lip stain. Joke's on you. So I said, do you kiss your mother with that mouth? And he said, that ended many years ago. I said, it's a shame I'll never get to meet her. He said she might make a special appearance. And then he asked me, wait, are you single or am I wasting my time here? I'm on a dating app. Yeah, I'm single. Also, you are wasting your time because you continually to make sexual innuendos. I continually shoot them down. You haven't even talked
to him in a year.
Right. Yes, you're wasting your time. I said, I can't wait to tell your mom your awful pickup line. And then I said, I'm on a dating app. I better be single. He said, at least I have a receipt now. No idea what this means.
What does that mean?
I don't know what he wants. I'm like, why would you want a receipt
for
this conversation?
What?
He's saying, like, proof of this conversation, I guess. He said, I'll probably file it on my taxes to lock it in. Maybe I'll get a write-off. And I said, are you sure you want to keep this receipt? Because receipt means proof this conversation happened.
Exactly.
He said, are you sure you can handle me? I said, LOL. He said, I'll take that as a no. So I said, we'll never see our 203rd day anniversary. He goes, we do need to celebrate. You didn't read the thing. I said, we won't see. We'll never see. AK will never see each other.
I can't believe he still is having this conversation with you.
I know. And at this point, I'm just like entertained. So I'm like, let me just see how this ends.
Right.
And he said, we do need to celebrate, but I'm going to need you to wear that black top that I was wearing in one of my profile pictures.
Damn black top.
Oh, damn black top. I said, I threw it away the minute you asked. Then he goes, topless on the first date is a bold call. Everything I say, this man is turning into a sexual innuendo. I said, do you want to tell me goodbye before I match you? And he goes, I'll watch you leave.
Wow.
And I unmatched him, and we never spoke again, obviously.
Wait, did you like get his name? Like, could you find him on social?
I should.
I would be curious to see who the F this person is.
All right, I'll add that to my homework list.
Add to your homework. We want to see who this guy is.
I will search this man out if I can. It's hard with Hinge because you only get their first name.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
But maybe I can do a little reverse image search.
Yes. I just don't understand, like, what was the purpose of that conversation? No.
And I get sometimes guys will throw something in there to see, like...
And this is not like a 25-year-old. This is a full-ass grown man. He was in his 30s.
I think he might have been 30. But my thing is, like, I know guys will sometimes throw in an innuendo to see, like, how far they can go or what our reactions will be. Yeah. I thought when I shut the first one down, he'd be like, okay, this isn't going to work. Let's just move forward with a regular conversation. No, he just kept shooting a shot.
No wonder he's still on a dating app.
I swear. He's going to keep missing the shots with me.
Oh, my gosh.
I can't.
Okay, so I have a question since you're still on the dating apps.
Yep. Ryan
told me about his experiment with the AI wingman. Okay, so if those of you who don't know, I did a story on Unfiltered Weekly, which is our new segment that we do, about dating apps launching like an AI wingman. So basically, it is your bestie on these apps helping you curate answers, questions, prompts, responses to people. And he used it as a research experiment, which I found hilarious. But he said on his end, it was awful because the responses that AI would pop back out were all like basically like to get to toe a line in terms of being flirty and sexual and that kind of stuff. It wasn't anything like deep conversations, it was all that kind of stuff, like more flirty stuff if you don't know what to say to women. Have you seen that on your end? Or like a prompt for it? I'm just curious to see like
where I think someone's used it.
Yeah, either use it on you or like if it's been like promoted to you in your profile. Like, hi, use me. I'm your wingman over here.
Oh, it's in the app?
Yes, he used it.
Wait, it's like a built-in feature?
I think that's what he said.
I have not seen this yet. I don't think. I don't see an option.
Okay.
For me to use it. I would say,
because I'm wondering, how sometimes when apps roll things out on beta, and so like not everybody gets the same version or gets a version or a look at it.
They're probably beta testing with the men for sure. I feel like they'd be more apt to use it.
That's true.
I don't know. That's just my point of view.
Oh yeah, that's the one thing I think. Oh, you know what? I don't think I. Oh, my viral story says send to Ashley.
I got nothing.
That's hilarious. Oh, wait, what was it? I'm going to have to remember it. You'll have to go first anyhow.
I don't want a guy using AI on me. And I'll tell you.
Same.
Because then it's like, it's already awkward enough. Some guys are very good at conversation on the apps or over messaging. Then you get face to face and they're a little bit more shy. So your expectation of conversation is not what it lines up to be. Mm-hmm. So then you add AI into that, and then all this, no. And you know what? It grosses me out that our AI platforms think that the first thing that we need to go to in terms of conversation is sexual conversation.
Exactly.
Like, can we not make emotional connections first?
Right. Yeah.
Ugh, I can't.
Interesting. I was just wondering if you had seen that.
No, but I'll keep my eye open for that.
Okay, please let me know because that's
my Hinge
interesting.
App needs an update.
All right, we're going to go to our viral stories, which it just actually did. I remembered. I wrote myself a note because we use my phone, for the podcast, and my note says viral story, send to Ashley. And I clearly did not do that, but it just popped in my brain, so we're good.
Do you want to do it before you forget?
No, you can go first.
I just heard this one last night. For once, it's not a Reddit post. And if this is all true, obviously it's allegedly and everyone's sides, it is super sad.
Oh, no.
So this influencer was working with the company Happiest Baby. I guess they have like what are the bedside cradles called?
Oh, like what do you mean?
They called? A bassinet. Sorry. Okay, so
it's so long.
Haven't been there yet. Okay, so this influencer, whose sister is also an influencer, keep that in mind, was working with this company called Happiest Baby, and they were sending her a bassinet, and then when she had the baby, she was going to exchange them some content in return. Mm-hmm. Well, in a very, very, very sad turn of events, she lost the baby and I believe had a stillborn.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not really sure.
That's awful.
There's a lot of things going around about what happened, but she lost the baby. Mm-hmm. Well, when she takes the time, even while she's grieving, takes the time to respond and explain why she didn't post the content, Happiest Baby asked for the bassinet back.
Stop.
She is grieving the loss of her child, and all they care about is allegedly getting this bassinet back. So her sister, who also is an influencer, and I looked her up on TikTok, and she has 800,000 followers on TikTok, posted a story, and she said, "I'm super disappointed in a certain brand during this unimaginable time for my sister, namely Happiest Baby, who sent my sister a baby bassinet after my sister said she would tag them in content with her newborn baby. After sending an email regarding the content she wasn't able to send because her baby passed away, they demanded she send the bassinet back. The empty bassinet still sitting next to her bed because she didn't, quote, deliver the content. I want you to think about why she couldn't deliver the content. I'm absolutely disgusted, blah, 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 blah." Not blah, 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 but she goes into some other things. So then people, as the internet does, gets mad at this, Happiest Baby. They start commenting on Happiest Baby's post. And one of the comments says, "Very disappointed in your brand and the way you have handled the situation with Brooklyn. Be better for future mothers. Lost me as a customer and supporter."
Wow.
This is their response. "Hi, Whitney. We're sorry to hear this. And as a brand that supports family during their parenting journey, we would never discuss content in this time, nor did we in this instance." Basically, they go on denying the situation. First of all, they say, we're sorry to hear this. No, you better be sorry for the way you communicated to this woman. Because here's the thing. One party is lying, but there are email trails. So it's going to come out who's not telling the truth.
Exactly.
And they said they offered their team to send a courier to pick up the bassinet. She just lost the baby. Do not worry about getting your stupid bassinet back.
Oh my gosh.
In some way or another, you hinted at her that you wanted it back. I don't care that you offered to send her a courier. That's awful. And they're not doing any public apology. All they're doing is putting these little snippets in their comments. So the only comment that said anything maybe a little bit empathetic was, again, this is a comment on a video. This is not a public statement from their company. This is just them commenting. "We are heartbroken for Brooklyn and her family following the tragic loss of her baby boy. As a brand that supports families during their parenting journey, we would never discuss content in a time like this, nor did we so in our instance." And then they go back to the same basically copy paste of we're our sincerest. Oh, now we said we have extended our sincerest apologies to Brooklyn for any additional heartbreak or offered to return the bassinet may have caused.
Wow.
I just think that this woman is going through unimaginable pain.
Yeah.
The last thing you should be asking this woman is anything related to sending that bassinet. Write it off. Write it off.
How stupid and just deaf in terms of your awareness and your common sense.
Yeah.
To do something like that. And then also not expect hey, let me think this through, because if
Yeah.
we do this is probably going to cause some type of controversy, knowing she's an influencer, knowing that her sister is probably a well-known influencer. You don't think they're going to make content about this?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And I'd like to give a little shout out to Factor Meals. So I guess she also had a collaboration with them, and she was supposed to go like live to talk about their meals the day she lost the baby. And I guess when she told them, they're still continuing to send her meals to help
That's
her
how you
support
handle the situation.
to help support her in this time of loss.
Yeah.
And I read some other comments on there. Someone else was like, I lost my they had lost someone else, so they had, I think that they had ordered like Factor Meals and Factor Meals continued to send them a couple more meals just so they could have like some food during this grieving process, because obviously cooking dinner is not like the first thing you're thinking about. So props to them for understanding humanity and empathy, and like honestly just how to be a humanized brand.
Yeah, exactly.
Like brands come across so often as greedy and money hungry, and to come across as human, I'd love to see the uptick in their revenue the rest of this year.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that is so much nicer than asking for your product.
Wow, that's one way to destroy your brand online.
Yeah.
Especially on social media.
And to not even like, I couldn't find any ownership of it except for the few comments they had made.
And what's so crazy is that now things spread like wildfire on social, especially on TikTok, and especially when it's somebody who has a big account. And if there's something that goes wrong, something can go viral very quickly. And in like 24 hours, you could potentially have ruined your business.
Everything.
That's so crazy to me.
And like, I know all of this is alleged because everyone's sharing their point of view and their version of it. But there's an email trail.
Yeah.
There's a conversation trail.
Right.
There are receipts to this conversation. So if this is all true, the brand just needs to take the high road of like, we messed up.
Fire your social media PR person.
What we thought we were doing to be
and your influencer management
helpful.
person.
Yeah. It should have been keep the bassinet.
Yeah.
Donate it if you want. Do whatever you want to do with it. If there's anything we can do to help you.
Exactly.
If you want, if it's causing grief, let us know. But that you don't take the point of, we'll send you a courier to come pick it up.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
I just heard about it last night and I was like, I've got to share this.
So this story actually spawned something in me that is it's a different story, but I caught it. I don't know how it got, and I forgot the name of it specifically. There's a term for it, but I don't know how it got on my FYP on TikTok. But it was this woman who looked like she was rocking a baby, and it looked like the baby had passed. And it was obviously had like millions of views. And so like I was like, oh, you always kind of pause when you get a video like that. Well, I'm kicking myself for not remembering the name of it. But I guess there is a process that some of the hospitals have where you can basically buy time with your baby that passes away and take the baby home. Oh. It like drops the baby's temperature. So yeah, it basically like, for lack of better words, preserves the body. So you can have, because normally you only have a certain amount of time if you have a stillborn or something like that. This process enables you to take the baby home and keep the baby with you and have a chance to say goodbye a little longer. So I think it's maybe, don't quote me, maybe like 1 to 3 days or something like that. So she videoed everything.
Oh, wow.
So that like she had something to look back on. And so all of these videos started going viral of her. I mean, she has the baby in the bassinet. She's rocking the baby. She's showing the baby to her younger daughter. And this baby's gone. It's just the body. And I'd watched every freaking video and I bawled my eyes out. Just seeing like this baby that like you had all these plans with and it's literally in front of you and it has no breath in it. And I was just, and so she did videos all the way until they did the funeral and the burial. And so I guess like every hospital, not every hospital has this machine to do this. And so I think what she was trying to do was be able to like let people know that this is available and that there are more hospitals that should have, I can't remember the name of it. I'll have to find it. But they have this process because it's expensive.
Right.
And I think maybe only each hospital maybe has one of them because I think it's something you have to take home in order to preserve the body to have that time.
Wow.
So it's this big thing. And so the comments were definitely like a mixed view. Like some comments were like, this is so morbid. I can't believe you're taking home your dead baby. And then other ones are like, oh my gosh, I wish I would have had this when I had my child so I would have had more time and had a proper goodbye and did all the things. And so it was really mixed, but I don't know what got into me, but I watched every freaking video and I was crying for like an hour just thinking about like how hard that could be. That situation is hard in itself already, but then to say, yes, let me take this machine home so I can give this child a proper goodbye and actually spend time with it before I have to give my child away for good. Like,
It's gut-wrenching.
It totally is.
Kind of shame on the people in the comments. Like, let her grieve in whatever way she needs to grieve.
I know.
Like, everyone grieves so differently.
And that's what I was saying. Like, you don't know anything until you're in that situation. You have no idea how you're going to react to something.
Exactly.
So for you to say that, for you now, but what if that was you?
Yep.
What if you just
might
spent
feel a lot
20
differently.
hours in that labor room trying to have a baby, and then that baby actually doesn't come out the way it's supposed to?
No.
And so now your world is just totally turned upside down. What would you do in that moment? You don't know until you're there.
Right.
You know, so it's like you can't
No,
judge.
you can't judge that. And let her, even if that's not the decision you would make, what harm does that do you that she was able to grieve in a way that was best for her?
No. And like they were even saying, because like they were like, how are you bringing your little daughter into it? But now like her daughter has this, even though her daughter's young, she has a memory of her brother or sister.
Yeah.
You know, even though she wasn't able to spend time. So she just has some sort of memory of it, you know? So it was crazy. That just came into my brain.
Yeah.
So heavy. Sorry. I'll go to my funny viral story now, okay? And then we can close our show for today because we're already at 52 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
This is what happens when we just talk.
Today.
I know. Okay, so this one is really funny. This girl on TikTok, she was trying to research something online. You know how there's like cutouts of like celebrities and stuff?
Yeah.
She found somebody was selling a full body cutout of herself.
Wait.
It's viral right now. I found it on the New York Post.
Who the cutout was of the person searching for cutouts or the cutout?
She found somebody downloaded a photo of her. And
what?
Yes, and created a life-size, like full-size cutout. And so she found herself. That you could buy a life-size
First of all, she better get some royalties for all the sales of that.
That's what I said, but like I think I think 26 people have bought it or something like that. Not only, but still.
26 people have her cardboard cutout in their room.
I think it was like, and then they were selling it for a certain amount, and she was just like, this is so freaking weird. And I think now it's just like a joke, but like she shared it on TikTok, like, hi, I am a cutout somewhere. Somebody bought me as a cutout. That was the story that I'm like sent to Ashley so I could talk about it all, and I can't remember all of it, but that's what, if you just search it, you'll find it.
Would you be flattered or creeped out?
Kind of both. Yeah. Like some people, some of the comments on TikTok were like, wow, girl, you made it. Somebody made a cutout of you. And then other people were like, oh my God, this is so creepy. I would be so scared. It was a combo of both.
I've heard there are companies, I think like China-based, when they do their Halloween costumes, you know how like they show a picture on the front of them?
Yeah.
They'll take like celebrities or influencers' photos and just use them. So like one of the big ones was the guy who plays Paul Wesley. I think that's how you say his last name, from Vampire Diaries, the guy who plays Stefan. Everyone's like, why did you model these Halloween costumes? Because here he is, this like big actor. I think it was in the like prime of his show.
Are you serious?
And they're like, why would you model for these Halloween costumes? And he's like, I didn't. And I think it was like, was it Tana Mojo or one other, I think, bigger like influencer was like going back and forth with the company because she thought it was her face on one of the bags. Can you imagine?
Oh my gosh.
I'd just be like, give me you can use my face. Just give me a royalty. Just give me a small royalty.
Insane.
I don't know. That depends what the costumes are.
I know, right?
Because then it's like probably put some like double D boobies on me. I'm like, whoa.
You're like, okay, I don't know how I feel about that one.
I know. I'm like,
yeah, but I saw it. I mean, just how weird is that? Like, you just find yourself and you're like,
crazy.
how the hell did that happen and why?
Why were 26 people ordering a cardboard cutout of a random person? Actually, we shouldn't know. We shouldn't ask that question. That's probably some fetish stuff.
It's funny. I remember the number 26, though, out of all the details. I don't know why. It was just random. So.
Hey, you didn't remember send Ashley, but you remember that important detail. Because I wanted to know the downloads or the sales. So thank you. Thank you for that.
Yeah. I know, that's why a lot of people were like, where's your kickback for this? They're using your using your likeness. Hello.
It's crazy.
So at least that was a little bit of a better viral story to end.
That's a good ending. That's a good ending.
But all not up.
Ending.
All right. Well, I guess that is our lovely episode this week. Lots of fun relationship stories, viral stories, and Ashley once again has homework.
I do. Whew. A lot of pressure.
Okay, so what's your homework? Do you remember?
I got to text back the 25-year-old.
Yes. You're like, what's the other one?
What was the other one?
There was something else.
I want to do some more research on Mr. Whiskers, but there was one other one.
Oh, the dating AI.
Oh, the dating. I thought there was one more.
Pops up somewhere. Was there? See, now I already forgot.
There was something.
Yeah, now I don't remember.
Because I said, well, when I watched the episode, I'll remind myself.
All right. Well, that's it for this episode of Behind the Filter After Dark Edition. You can always find more details online on our website. And then also make sure you follow us. So maybe if you're listening or you're watching, make sure you follow us and tell your friends and your family and everybody. And we need more downloads, okay? Please.
And put us on a cardboard cutout for some free advertisement.
All right. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.